Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to SL Podcast and World News. My name is Goddess Empress Amun Ra, your daily news anchor, and I am here with my co host.
My name is Almighty Amun Ra.
How are you doing, Almighty?
I'm doing good, Empress. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Before we get started with our trending news, we will first have our morning announcements. Almighty.
First in announcements, SL Podcast and World News is still hiring live field reporters. Our live field reporters will be responsible for going out on the grid to capture live events, conduct interviews with SL entrepreneurs, and report back to our anchor management team. The right candidate will possess a great personality, must have their own live stream, and must have a working knowledge of the OBS software. Empress.
Yes, in other announcements, we would like to congratulate our two 10K winners of the Spooky Vintage Halloween Photo Contest. Shout out to Lisa Rosselli and Mazakine Karambit. Congratulations, ladies, and thank you for your participation. SLPWN will sponsor a Christmas contest in December. Stay tuned for more information and details for that contest. Almighty.
As many of you already know, SLPWN is now offering services for event advertisement, commercials, and SL entrepreneurial interviews. Pricing for these services can be found at the front desk of the station, now located in the Moon Shadow Bay Sim. Or you can contact myself or Empress for more information.
Yes, as Almighty stated, we have moved to a new location. We are conveniently located in the Moonshadow Bay simulation. Listen, we want to hear from you. We are always open to suggestions, and if there is a news topic you would like to see discussed, by all means reach out to us. You can email slpwn at slpodcastworldnews@gmail.com. Also, make sure you check out our blog, Facebook, and YouTube channel. Please be sure you comment, like, and share. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date and get a notification on our next post. Now back to news. Almighty, what do we have first in trending news?
Well, we have an update on the 2024 election. Could Trump's divisive language impact the election? Democratic strategist Stephanie Rawlings Blake and Trump campaign surrogate Alfonso Aguilar discuss whether former President Donald Trump's rhetoric could make an impact on the election. Election Eve has arrived with the race for the White House still very tight. With the latest ABC News Ipsos poll out Sunday showing Kamala Harris slightly ahead nationally, but Donald Trump ahead in some key swing states, and the two candidates deadlocked in Pennsylvania. Harris is spending her last full day campaigning in battleground Pennsylvania, while Trump is hitting the trail in North Carolina and Pennsylvania before ending the day in Michigan. Trump to host dinners in Mar-a-Lago on election night. Empress.
Thank you, Almighty. Along that same news, 51 attorneys general condemn election related violence ahead of results. A bipartisan coalition of 51 attorneys general has penned a letter condemning violence in response to election results. Regardless of the outcome of Tuesday's election, we expect that Americans will respond peacefully, and we condemn any acts of violence related to the results, the coalition wrote. A peaceful transfer of power is the highest testament to the rule of law, a tradition that stands at the heart of our nation's stability. As attorneys general, we affirm our commitment to protect our communities and uphold the democratic principles we serve. We call upon every American to vote, participate in civil discourse, and above all, respect the integrity of the democratic process, the letter continued. Let us come together after this election, not divided by outcomes, but united in our shared commitment to the rule of law and safety of all Americans. Violence has no place in the democratic process. We will exercise our authority to enforce the law against any illegal acts that threaten it.
Yes, also, Pennsylvania counties continue to investigate potential voter registration fraud. Officials in several counties across Pennsylvania continue to investigate potentially fraudulent voter registration applications as Trump has pushed some misleading or false claims about the incident. Authorities in Lancaster, Berks, Monroe, and York counties are investigating thousands of voter registration applications they say are potentially fraudulent, according to various officials around the state. Amid the ongoing investigations, some of the applications have been confirmed to be fraudulent, while some have been determined to be legitimate according to updates. Still, as recently as last week, Trump said Lancaster County was caught with 2,600 votes. They found, as I understand it, I don't know what's happened to the last day or so, but they in Lancaster, they found 2,600 ballots, all done in by the same hand. Trump said Sunday in Pennsylvania. But according to the Pennsylvania Attorney General, Trump's characterization is untrue. In a statement last week, the state's top prosecutor, Michelle Henry, said that the investigations regard voter registration forms, not ballots.
On Monday, Lancaster County officials also updated that out of the approximately 2,500 applications under investigation, more than half were confirmed to be valid. According to Lancaster County Commissioner Ray D'Agostino, 57% of the applications were verified, 17% were determined to be fraudulent, and 26% are still being investigated and are either incomplete or not verified. D'Agostino stressed that the investigation with the DA is still ongoing. We take this very seriously, he said. In York County, officials last week said their investigation into a batch of 3,087 applications led to 47% having been verified as legitimate and were approved. 29% were incomplete and are pending, and 24% were declined and are being investigated by the DA. Election officials have emphasized that this alleged fraud was contained and stopped, and say the instance highlights the effectiveness of the system. Henry said the fraud attempts have been defeated. These attempts have been thwarted by the safeguards in place in Pennsylvania, Henry said in her statement last week. We are going to jump right into sports. Almighty, what do we have in sports news?
Taylor Swift arrives to support Travis Kelce at Buccaneers-Chiefs. After several weeks away, Taylor Swift returned to Arrowhead Stadium for the Kansas City Chiefs matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. The appearance comes a day after her final Eras Tour performance in the United States at the Indianapolis Colts Lucas Oil Stadium. She will be back on stage in 10 days in Toronto to conclude the concert tour, but not before supporting her boyfriend, Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. Swift represented the home team by donning a black leather jacket with Kansas City's logo on the back. The pop star has not attended a Kansas City game since the Week 5 Monday Night Football matchup against the New Orleans Saints. Kelce had 9 receptions for 70 yards during that outing, which is his third highest receiving yards in a game this season. In the 3 games Swift has attended this season, Kelce has averaged 4 receptions and 36 receiving yards with no touchdowns.
Interesting.
Next, we have most disappointing NFL teams: Cowboys, Browns, Jaguars, Saints. With most of Week 9 in the books, the NFL has officially hit the halfway point of the regular season. The league has played 137 of the 272 scheduled games for the 2024 season. If you feel like you can't name more than a handful of teams you trust to be good on a weekly basis, well, you're not the only one. It might be easier to spot the teams that haven't lived up to expectations, and they each had bad days in Week 9. While the Jets pulled out a victory over the Texans on Thursday night, 6 teams that have losing records in 2024 after posting winning records last season all lost in frustrating fashion Sunday.
Wowzers.
Stats for Sunday: game highlights, football, Cowboys versus Falcons, 21-27. Arizona Cardinals versus Buffalo, 28-34. Buffalo takes the win. Basketball, Detroit versus Brooklyn, 106-92. Detroit taking the win. Atlanta versus New Orleans, 126-111. I know New Orleans is feeling that one. Orlando Magic versus Dallas, 85-108. Back to you, Empress.
Well, that concludes our world news for today. Visit the Sim to view our board of events in SL. As above,
So below. Until next time,
you have a good day
a good night.
and a good evening.